So let's head out to the field. We're going to take you to this new amazing custom home we've just broke ground on. It's an 800-foot driveway up the hillside. The clients purchased a dedicated 14-acre custom site just for them. So we're going to take you up and see the progress. Now it is snake season, so you have to be careful out here as we're walking up the hill. You can see here, this is a natural desert, all undisturbed. This is a preserve over here on this side. So outside of the client's easement and the building pad, it's a preserve. So there's not going to be any other homes or building up here. This is going to be unique to the client. And then you can see down here, they're going to have these amazing views. You have all the views of the mountains as we get up higher, and these incredible swallows here, most of which will be untouched as we head up the hillside. So this driveway is 800 feet. It's going to end up being pavers, will be the finished substrate here that the client will drive over. They're not going to do asphalt. We opted to go with pavers. And you'll see that part of the challenge, you have a certain amount of slope that's legal here in Arizona. We don't have snow, but it's still based on slope and vehicle and grade changes. The slope we have to have this long of a driveway, which is over 800 feet, that way we don't have, it's a more gradual slope, it's not too steep. So that way as we get to the top, it meets code and everything that the city would require of us. So up here on the building pad, we're working on our first cut. Really, this is where we're grubbing the lot. So we've already marked and tagged the trees that need to be protected and relocated, the swallows. Everything else can be considered grubs. This small vegetation that will grow back at some point. Get that grubbed out, and then we can start working on our tier 1, our first phase of retaining walls. You can see here, we're on the lot behind me. We have our excavators out here. And part of the intent of the design here is, as we're working through design, is to work with a great architecture firm. We're working with Scott Carson at Cosan Studio. And really what you would love with the architect is that ability to 3D and render the house and really take in the natural landscape. The house was factored to be here for a few reasons. We mentioned the driveway. You have a long driveway, gives us the right slope. And then also, you're trying to minimize, to some extent, the cost of the build, right, for the client. I mean, this is not an inexpensive build, right? It's there's a lot of costs that go into a build such as this, as we're cantilevered out and overlooking the city here. But you have to find a spot in the hillside where it's essentially level, where we can build a pad that's going to be adequate, not a ton of cost, and hard dig, which we'll talk about in another video. Hard dig, which is going to be a big part of this build, especially as we get into the garage cut of the house. But here behind us, you have these amazing boulders. These are natural terrain, natural boulder to the landscape. So you have this amazing view corridor as your clients and your friends and family, as they come visit you at your home, they're going to see this amazing hillside. They're going to come up here. Right here is the driveway as we come around the back of the house. And then that'll be the garage on that side. You're going to have the great room right here. So as you're coming through the entry, you're going to have this amazing view of the great room looking out the valley. The pool will be there, of course, and the kitchen. And then down the left wing, there's 3 wings to the house. There's 3 separate areas. So on the left side, you're going to have the guest suite, you know, the guest bedrooms. Here on the right will be the master suite, which will be a dedicated wing. We're also going to have a guest casita, which is going to be right down here. So essentially 4 structures that are all connected through a glass hallway for the residents. But again, we're going to be bringing in natural boulders. So we have the natural boulders here. We're going to bringing in other ones here at the top of the driveway so that we continue that same look that's very natural here, but also adds that curb appeal. And those boulders will also function retaining the hillside. They're going to help with erosion. They're going to help retaining the strength of the hill. So of course we're going to have retaining walls you won't see, and then boulders on top that'll help that wash.